Thank you, Roger, and thank you very much for holding and setting up the scene. Chief Inspector of Mines, Mr. David Msiza, leaders of organized labor from the various organizations represented this morning, senior government officials with us at this platform, office bearers and board members of the Minerals Council, the CEO of Minerals Council and the team at the office, Roger, and your team, other companies represented, as well as members of the media, good morning and welcome to the 4th Annual National Day of Health and Safety in Mining. This is the most important day in our calendar as the Minerals Council, so thank you very much for attending. In 2018, when we launched and earmarked this day as the National Day dedicated by us all to recommitting ourselves to do more and better on matters of health and safety as the mining industry, we never could have imagined that 2 years later, in 2020, we would be faced with a global health pandemic called COVID-19. It's now almost 18 months later, and we still find ourselves in the middle of this pandemic, and as a country facing what is referred to as a third wave, a wave that has been vicious in its destruction of how we have come to experience our daily lives. As an industry, our response to this pandemic in 2020 brought to the fore our safety instincts that we always have held up as our foundation and fundamental value. The mining's response was comprehensive, including securing business continuity, protecting colleagues' lives, extending relief support to host communities, as well as partnering with stakeholders like labor, other business associations, governments, both at local and national level, to ensure that we not only pushed back the wave of infections threatening our lives at the time, but also strived to safeguard livelihoods. Our adoption of the SOPs and the 10 principles of COVID response, as Chief Msiza has indicated, went a long way to ensure that the industry had common protocols and guidance to go through this period. We thank the DMRE leadership led by Minister Mantashe, as well as yourself, Chief Director Msiza, and your team, as well as all of our labor partners for this collective effort. However, the health pandemic has been relentless in its spread, and the third wave has engulfed most of our country, severely affecting both lives and impacting livelihoods. We know that for any safety campaign to succeed, there has to be confidence in both the physical and psychological security. These two provide peace of mind as well as greater well-being, and COVID is eroding both, and that's the reality of our new normal. As we have noted in other countries, early access to vaccines have had a significant effect in limiting the harsh impacts of this pandemic, and as well helped them get back sooner on the road of recovery and economic recovery. This is also a path that we as South Africans desire for ourselves. Meanwhile, we have to continue to strictly adhere to the non-pharmaceutical interventions that rely greatly on human behavior and discipline. As the vaccine rollout unfolds in the country, we know that as an industry that we will once again be in a position to support the government's efforts to reach as many people as possible within the capacity and health infrastructure that we have in mining. Unfortunately, We know that due to the physical and mental fatigue, largely as a result of the COVID health pandemic, our members' safety and health numbers are regressing. As much as we have done well last year in this regard, we dare not let our guard down. The third wave requires greater vigilance and mindset of safety first in all we do. Chief Director Msiza, in 2020, we unfortunately saw a deterioration in mining safety performance in terms of fatalities. Furthermore, thus far in 2021, we are seeing a worsening of the fatality trend. This is not acceptable to us as the Minerals Council and our members. Today, amongst many issues that we will be focusing on, will be about how we continue to hold each other up to support and help boost morale among others during these difficult times. More importantly, and for these reasons, the theme of today's event is a renewed focus for our new normal. As we reboot our commitment to ourselves to keep that promise of ensuring that everyone works safe and feels safe when they are at work, so that at the end of the day, they can go back home safe to their loved ones. That's the spirit of Khumbule Ekhaya, and that will remain our key focus. All that Khumbule Ekhaya stands for still remains valid, including the prevention of fatalities as our primary focus, the need to integrate health and safety, and the need for intensified vigilance and effort. The new normal is about resilience, and we will work through our continuous commitment to collaborations between companies, unions, and the DMRE. We are in this together. I'm grateful to everyone who continues to make these commitments become a daily reality. Thank you to the CEO Zero Harm Forum, led by Themba Mkhwanazi, our Vice President of the Council, and the many, many colleagues, also led by Roger Baxter from the Minerals Council, as well as from other companies. Your dedication inspires us to do better. While wishing you all fruitful and meaningful engagements for today, and may we continue to stay vigilant in observing the industry's safety standards, especially during this time.